Hello, everybody. This is Jimmy, and you're reading with Jimmy. This is my 10-minute breakdown of one of the great short stories of all time, The Matter with André, subtitled by Jimmy, Betrayal, Corruption, and the Cruelty of Desire. Welcome, everybody. What if I told you that love, lust, and selfishness could leave behind an innocent casualty? This is a disturbing story, ladies and gentlemen. Very disturbing. That's The Matter with André by Guy de Maupassant, one of the great short story writers of all time, translated by Roger Collette. It's a deeply cynical, disturbing, and unsettling story. It's very hard to read this story without feeling like that. You know what I'm saying? It's about infidelity. It's about manipulation. And it's about children who are often the silent victims of adult betrayal. Is this a story about passion and deceit or something even darker? So this is Reading with Jimmy's QuickTakes, and where we're going to break down literature's greatest works in 10 minutes, and hopefully, since you're on my website, you'll read the full story with me when we're done. In any case, I want to unravel this disturbing vision of love control and the price of pleasure and the pain that it sometimes causes innocent victims. All right, you ready? Join me, would you please? So what's the story? Well, Madame Moreau is a married woman, and her husband, Mr. Moreau, he leaves town for business, and she has a lover, Captain Sommerville. And this is the night, and they will finally be alone together in her home. So they arrange a rendezvous. Just as the affair begins, there's a problem. Little André, Madame Moreau's young son, is in the next room, and when he hears them, he starts to cry. He starts to scream, and his innocent presence threatens to ruin their little liaison. Captain Somerville is annoyed. He doesn't like being interrupted. You'll learn to hate this guy when you read the story with me. So he finds a way to silence André. It's not gentle what he does, and it's not kind, but it's very effective. And Madame Moreau lets it happen. As I said, this is a very disturbing story. So the aftermath, we're left with, we're uneasy because, the child, he's the only pure figure in the story. He's been traumatized. What does André learn from this night? What kind of man will he grow up to be? These are important questions. This is a story about a very disturbing topic, child abuse. Adults play their little games, but children often pay the price. Or is there something else going on? So what's the deal? This third-person narrator doesn't just narrate about infidelity. It's about power, cruelty, and corruption. Power, remember, is a recurring theme in classical literature. The Prince is a great story on my website that studies the power. Mostly every story and every play we read about. Lysistrata is a play about Greek women going on strike to stop the war. It's about power. So infidelity isn't just about passion. It's about selfishness. Madame Moreau is unaware of the hurt to her child just to keep her lover happy until it's too late. Desire can turn men into evil. Captain Somerville doesn't see André as a person. He's just in the way. Does he love Madame Moreau? I doubt it. Well, you'll have to be the judge when you read it with Jimmy. And even if he did love her, what he does to that child? Oh, I'm not going to tell you. You got to read it with me. And children, they're powerless. They don't know. They're children. They have no concept. André has no say in it. He's trapped in a world he doesn't understand or control. Like all children, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm talking about? They don't know. They don't call it the age of reason for nothing. So what is Maupassant's brilliance? He exposes the brutal reality beneath the polite society. The themes of the manner with André. Well, the cost of desire. A night of passion comes at the poor child's expense. Does desire fulfillment always have a cost? When you fulfill your own desires, does someone pay a price? Power and submission. Madame Moreau chooses to cheat on her husband and her own son's well-being. Now, when you read the story with me, what Captain Sommervert does, it's in the dark because, this is the 18th, 19th century. There's not a lot of light in the room. But it's the loss of innocence. André will never forget his experience. And what that experience is, well, you got to read it with me. Maupassant forces us to see hypocrisy, selfishness, and the loss of innocence. Why does this story matter today? So why should we care about the brutal 19th century story about a cheating wife? Well, betrayal has consequences. Infidelity goes on every day, ladies and gentlemen. And what is it? What is morality? Is one of those themes that recur in classical literature. What is your morality? And it's not about two people. You think just two people are, when they're infidelity is between two people. It's about the people around them that infidelity hurts. It shatters lives around you. Power corrupts. Sommervert gets what he wants, and then he goes off into the sunset because he knows he can. He's never been emotionally involved with this woman. Who would do what he does? Because children are innocent victims of adult selfishness. How many children grow up witnessing cruelty? I can tell you about my personal experiences as a kid, right? But it doesn't matter. This is a great story to read. We're affected by everything around us, by what we see. I remember seeing an adult reaming a kid, his son, probably out in one of the stores. He was just belittling the kid, and I felt like punching the guy. That's no way to, you don't talk publicly to your child like that. Kid was almost in tears. What is cruelty, by the way? Maupassant forces us to look at what makes us uncomfortable. This is not an easy story to read. And it's something much darker. So this is really not for children. This is an adult story. But maybe it's for a young adult too, because sometimes young people are cruel too, and they know they're cruel. He writes about what others are afraid to ask. So calling all readers. That's the matter with André in 10 minutes. It's one of Jimmy's favorite stories, not because of the topic, but because of the topic. It's a very deeply disturbing story. And I'm going to read and analyze every disturbing moment, the brutal truth, lasting consequences, and I'm going to bring this world to life for you. Reading with Jimmy is you're on my website reading this 10-minute, or you're on my YouTube channel. So come on down and read it with me. But I want to ask you a question before you leave. Is there such a thing as a victimless crime, or does someone always suffer? Think about that. Is there such a thing? Jimmy at readingwithjimmy.com is my email. Jimmy at readingwithjimmy.com is my email. Thanks for listening. Before you go, I thought a lot about whether or not I should put this story on my website, and I elected to do it. You know why I elected to do it? Because it's a classic piece of literature. The way it's written and the way it's narrated by the third-person narrator. It only takes 14 minutes to read it with me. 14 minutes. That's 4 minutes longer than this 10-minute introduction. But there's so much to understand that I'm going to analyze it in 35 minutes. So come on down and read The Matter with André with me, and it'll give you something to think about when you're around people, not just children. Thanks for being here.